Hey everyone, welcome back to my latest trapping video. Today I'll be showcasing some clips sent in by Damo the Trap. So Damo the Trap has a bunch of traps. He has a rally trap, which we'll be showcasing first. Then he has some solo traps, which we'll be showcasing next. So his solo trap at the end of the video does get caught in Fury, so we get to see what you should do and what you should not do when you are caught in Fury as a solo trap. But we'll be starting off with his rally trapping to start off. So he's on his 534 million mite rally trap. It has some pretty good gear, which they will find out pretty soon, but we'll see how he does. So it looks like WGL is going to be the rally lead. Spicy is an okay rally lead, not like a maxed account or anything like that, but pretty decent. You can see his name in this video is Paulusan. Again, his actual YouTube channel is Damo the Trap. I think I'll just leave it in the comments down below if you want to go check out his comments. Shout out to him for sending in the clips. It's really cool to see all his trapping content. Again, there's about 10 seconds before this rally hits. Again, all you gotta do is make sure you're ready to switch to your real gear, switch the phalanxes and all that. I would obviously put on your gear first, just because they do like to carpet, as in this situation. You can see they were sending range at him, and again, a lot of times you don't have time to actually switch your formations if they are just spam carpeting. So the best thing to do is just throw on your gear right away and basically hope for the best. Hopefully you actually get the counter off. So we'll actually take a look, see how much damage was done. Again, the Sanctuary does save a ton of them, so as long as you don't get full countered, you should be fine. Obviously, not getting full countered is probably the best thing, and countering is obviously your best option. Again, he can obviously do the rally trapping. You can see he has a ton of gems, over 3 million gems sitting there, so he can rebuild some of the troops. We'll take a look at the damage here. It was range against range, I'm pretty sure, so about 2.5 million. That's kind of how it is. I guess there is a one way to not really reduce the amount of damage you're taking, but reduce it from your front line. I found out you could just build a ton of tier 1 siege in the Pack 5 familiars. We'll just target the tier 1 siege, and it works out really well. I will have a video about the new siege comp pretty soon. I showed you me building the 15 million siege, and I took some rallies, and yes, it did work pretty well. Obviously, you lose quite a bit from the you still lose a lot of siege, but your front line pretty much doesn't get touched, and it's pretty awesome. So anyways, it looks like someone else had said on him, TB Antonio Super BRN is another person who said on him. Let's take a look. He's got Mythic Champ. Not a lot of Castle Stars, only 83, and not a ton of the Artifact Stars either, unlike the previous lead, who had quite a bit of them actually, so they were decently strong. Obviously, again, not a maxed account or anything like that, but a strong lead nonetheless, and you probably won't find a non-strong lead in a kingdom like this anyway. So it looks like I don't think they decided to actually rally him, so he did get away with the 1 leader, but we'll take a look at the report one more time, I think. Never mind. They just ended up canceling. So we will move on. So after this, he did switch over to his solo trap. So this is him on his solo trap. He will be taking a small gangbang here from a family guild, I'm pretty sure. There's IG, then HG is the other one, so looks like IG is going to be going in first. DK Hunter, so DK Hunter's going in. I think it was just a tester or a wall breaker or something like that, just to see if this guy was empty or not. Actually not a wall breaker because it did 0 damage, so usually siege at least does a little bit of damage. He sent 250k. I'm not sure what he sent though. He is 1.8 billion with 50 artifact stars there, going in with a real attack, I think this time. Nope, no, this one's the wall breaker because he did 0 damage on the first one. He decided to send a wall breaker in there just to make sure that he didn't just get capped on a wall, and you can see he didn't because the siege also got capped, so that's a good indication that your target actually has troops and you're not just getting destroyed by their wall. So the wall is completely down now. Now they can actually go in for a actual attack. Let's see, he actually capped someone off camera here. So this guy decided to go in. Actually has quite a good attack. He's got Mythic Champ, bunch of tempering in there, HD Villager. It was a 250 blast. So yeah, that's not what you want to be doing when you're attacking a soul trap. Don't send a 250, send a 375k. But either way, our trap does have a range frontline, so that Cab Blast wasn't really going to do much because obviously they're getting full countered. Even if you have crazy gear, if you get full countered, a lot of times it's not going to be so bad. So looks like someone changed spaces, because was his name Batgoony69 before? I'm pretty sure it wasn't. So it looks like someone took his spot there and might be going in for a solo attack as well. This is the HD guild. Looks like this guy's quite strong. 121 artifact stars with 70 castle stars. Mythic champ and some mythic cups, and that guy is Skier. So better watch out for that guy. So stay on your toes if someone like that pops next to you, because be wanting to get your gear on pretty soon. And as you can see, he does have one of their leaders, which I think he might actually decide to kill here to get those extra Ultra Boost stats, because again, those Ultra Boost stats are amazing on a solo trap. You get all the extra HP, defense, and the army attack. It's a great thing to have. It looks like actually HD Tarky's going in first. He'll be sending Cav, which won't be doing very much damage to Damo here because, again, range frontline, or tier 3 range frontline. But I think Batgoony, who's going to be going in next, might be doing a little extra damage. So he's going in right now, Batgoony. Let's see what he's setting, and that is tier 5 infantry blast. That one hurt. That dropped him down to 159 million might. So we'll take a look. It did fill in his infirmaries. Again, he didn't heal after the Cav attack, so that's also it. Again, I would just heal just because they know you're online. You literally executed a leader, so at this point I would not try to be like slow healing, especially with someone like that next to me, unless I know I'm super strong and won't be taking reds. But in that situation, obviously happens, so that's the guy you probably want to try counter, because this guy not so strong. Mythic and gold gear, 300k blast, obviously not a issue to a range frontline. But the next guy going in, he went tier 5 infantry with some really good gear, quite a bit of castle stars and artifacts. Yeah, you can see he's got really good infantry gear, some mythic champ pieces, 3 cups, all that good stuff there. So he's running well over 900%, maybe getting close to 1,000% at that point, doing 923,000 damage. So again, he took 300k reds. Not the worst thing. It can get actually worse than that. So looks like this guy's going tier 5, tier 4 range. Not a problem. Again, with a range front, you should be okay with that. It's basically only those infantry hits that you got to worry about, and try not get countered by, because you do take a ton of reds nowadays from people with good artifact stars and all that stuff. So this was HD Capucho, sent 150k tier 5, tier 4 range, 266k damage. I believe he had pack 5 familiars. But yeah, anyway, so no crazy strong guys, pretty decently strong guy. Batgoony is actually quite strong. I'm saying not crazy strong because people's stats are just stupidly strong nowadays, where obviously like 1,000% blast is like not a strong blast anymore. I mean, what world are we in where 1,000% is not a strong blast? And again, that's 1,000% not including army attack. So with army is probably running like 1,300% combined between his actual attack and his army attack. Because we can't ignore army, because army attack's a thing in the game. We can't just say the normal stats. But I know everyone just uses normal stats. But looks like there's some tier 5 infantry coming in from another guy from HD. That one did drop him, not quite as much as the other one from Goonie. So obviously this guy's not quite as strong. You can tell just by the might drop how well he did. I don't think that was very many reds, if any. Let's see, Jumauru, let's see how much damage he did. 727, so he did get a little reds. Actually, this guy's pretty decent. He's just missing one mythic champ piece. Did basically 84k reds. It's not too bad, because I think that was just tier 2 reds, so none of his tier 3 frontline there. So it wasn't too bad. I know nowadays it's like, oh, you only took like 100k reds, you're totally fine. I remember back in the day when you're solo trap, you took 100k reds, you're like, oh my god, I gotta rebuild, change my comp. But nowadays you're like, oh, that's totally fine. 500k reds, whatever. It's perfectly normal to take on a counter nowadays. I'm like, okay, I guess that's the world we live in. Because again, that's what I was taking from that Max guy on my pretty much a old rally trap, and now we're taking that much. Anyway, so he did end up giving their leaders back at the end. It wasn't because he was scared or anything, taking any more hits. It was more just he just wanted to go offline, and you can't be sitting there with a solo trap unshielded when you're offline. So anyways, this is actually before he released them. That was just him showing you he did actually release them in the end, because again, as a solo trap, you're never going to hold it for more than 24 hours unless you decide not to sleep at all, because you just can't do that as a solo trap. You've got to be online if you're solo trapping. So that's the difference between a rally trap and a solo trap. A rally trap, you can go offline all you want, and then just get your guild to call you if someone rallies you. But a solo trap, it doesn't work that way, because people can just solo you to death, and or more likely to try and actually zero you with solos. So here's the Cab Blast, 28k on that. We'll go to the next one. This was Goonie. Again, a bunch of Mythic Champ, 121 Artifact stars and 70 Castle stars. Far from a max count, but probably pretty close to 1000% single stat there on his attack damage, just based on artifacts and his gear. There's HD Capucho. He did 375k. I believe this was the range. Yeah, it was the range blast. Actually, maybe there wasn't any Pack 5 familiars in that blast. That was just pure range damage. Again, range does quite a bit of damage because it attacks really quickly. So, and then there was Jua Maro, 103 artifact stars. Did what was it called, 700k, 84k reds on that. Again, it was tier 2 reds. It should have went to the Sanctuary unless the Sanctuary is full at this point. And that is the gear he was trapping in. A bunch of free-to-play gear. Not crazy stats or anything like that. So the comp still works pretty well against like up to like sort of mid-tier leads. I don't want to say high tier, because high tier is, I guess, like close to Titans, and those guys are running like 1600% attack nowadays. Those are the high. The lead's like a mid tier, and then the other guys are like low tier rally leads. In a rally lead, you have to have a certain amount of stats to actually be considered a rally lead anyways. So move on. Here's another rally trapping clip from his rally traps. So moving back to some rally trapping here. This is same name, TWK Pauluson. I guess he kept the same name going into KVK because obviously they won't know he's a rally trap because they're not in his kingdom. So looks like YBN Smirky will be the rally lead on this one. I believe Smirky is decently strong, so we'll have to be careful on this one. Just waiting to basically switch and put the gear on. Decided to go infantry for this one. Again, you kind of just gotta like feel it out. Unless you know the rally lead really well, you really don't know what they're sending, because a lot of rally people just send one infantry with whatever, so the speed of the troops won't really matter. So yeah, unless you get that one person who forgets that and they're like zooming in, you're like, oh, that's definitely Cav. Anyways, real ones coming on here. You can see almost full mythic, not quite right now, but we'll see what they actually sent. Again, I think they carpeted that one because that one came in quite quickly. Not much time to actually counter or anything like that. That is the issue when they're right next to you and they decide to throw some carpets in. You won't have time. You can see it was quite a bit of damage. It was Cav. It was a full counter. Okay. Not the worst full counter I've ever seen. But it was a full counter, so it could have been, yeah, definitely could have been worse on that one, because that was at almost 3 million reds on that, so again, oh, this is not the end, by the way. This is the clip he sent me. By the way, don't forget to go subscribe to Damo the Trap, and if you like the content on this channel, you can always hit the like and subscribe button. A little like and subscribe stop here. Anyway, so we'll move back to some solo trapping. Back on his solo trap here, they will be sending in a just a wall breaker attack to start off. This one is from RT, yeah, something awesome. So again, just sending in that siege blast to see if the person has anything. You get a lot of these attacks as solo traps to see if you're an empty castle or whatever, because again, they can't really just send like small attacks without breaking the wall, because a lot of times someone's wall could be high enough and they could eat your just small attack. So let's see what they're sending. It looks like you're going a range tester here, so it looks like Damon's going to switch to Cab to try to get full countered. The reason he's doing this is because he's trying to basically fake out their test, just to make it look like he's taking a ton of damage in Cab. That way they won't be sending infantry, they'll be sending pretty much range, I guess, at that point, and then you send range, and then try to trap them that way. That's kind of the best way. You want to try and convince them you're in a different formation than you actually are, just to get them to go a certain type that won't full counter you. So the thing is, you're basically just trying not to get them to go infantry, making them think you're in cav, the last thing they'll do is infantry. So they'll either go range or what's called cav at that point. So looks like he's coming in here. Did a decent amount of damage, but not too bad. You can see this trap here, a little less strong on the gear and all that compared to the previous trap. This is full I am Damo. You see it did 917k. This guy was pretty strong too. Did have some pack 5 familiars, sent a ton of tier 5. That's 286 tier 5. This guy's getting close to a full tier 5 blast. So the guy did lose tier 5 in that one, 61k tier 5 lost, and he got out of there almost right away. He was not sticking around. He wasn't going to be messing around with any rallies or anything like that, because if you lose your leader nowadays, yeah, you better get out of there if you're in a big kingdom, because guess what? It doesn't matter what might you are if you don't have your leader, because you don't have your stats at that point, and you're in big trouble. So again, talking about big trouble, we have one right here. This is Damo's trap, who got caught in Fury. So if you're a solo trap, do not go into Fury no matter what anymore. If you're in a kingdom with a bot will pick up that you went into Fury and you will get rallied. So it doesn't matter if you're like in the middle of nowhere, no one sees you at all. The bot will see you. It will pick up that you went into Fury, and you probably will get a rally set on you. So that's what's happening here. Coalition is coming in. It is going to be a cav. Doesn't really matter. It's 151 solo trap. Countering, not countering, you're going to burn. So you're not going to be able to take a full rally from a decent lead. It doesn't matter if you full counter them or not, especially if you're not getting reinforcements. If you got like full tier 4 range reinforcements, maybe you could have survived some troops or something like that. But yeah, you can see you dropped over 50 million might from that rally. And now what you got to do is get away. You got to hide yourself as much as possible. Damo's doing a good job right here, getting rid of the fires, so if anyone's looking around, they won't find it. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure it was a bot who found him, so you getting rid of the fire is not going to do it. What you need to do at this point is not look at the report. You need to start randoming every 10 seconds. Change your name, change your guild. Just try to confuse the bot as much as possible. Keep changing, switching, porting, switching, porting, switching, porting. Now eventually, hopefully, they lose you, because that's what you got to do. Because as soon as they find you and you've already lost your whole front line, they can just solo you. They don't actually technically need a rally, and especially if you're still in Fury like Damo is right now. He's got 6 minutes of Fury left. He could get in quite a bit of trouble. So you can see, I guess it didn't take out all his troops, kind of mostly took out his front line and stuff like that, but you do need a front line to take a solo. So there's about 5 minutes of Fury left. He's probably getting a little more confident here. I was thinking of changing his name. Again, I would change my guild. I would change my name, and I would port every 10 seconds because it will confuse them. By the bot time they actually see where the location and the bot tells them, you will have changed to another location, another name, all that stuff. And then, yeah, and this is the problem what happened. So they now have a rally on him. 4 minutes left. Again, the bot found him. They set the rally. Not much you can do other than what I was saying. Just try to get away, and now they're going to come in with the solo. So unfortunately, he wasn't even in his... he's not even in his war gear. He's just panicking at this point, wasn't thinking they'd find him, decided just to port away, but they have a rally set on you, so porting away is not really going to help at this point. Actually, nothing's going to help at this point. At this point, it's already over. Just hide your leader, accept your fate, because you porting around, you have like 3 minutes. Unless you can port really quickly, they're going to get a solo in there. So you can see he is doing a good job of porting really quickly, but just one solo at this point is going to pretty much get you, because you haven't healed. You don't really have a front line. You can see another one hit. It only dropped him 3 mil though, so maybe they sent the wrong thing. But again, he's just trying frantically to get away. So like I said, the best way to do this is do it before that. Burning out the Wonder is not going to save you anymore if you know that there's guilds in your kingdom that use bots. Burning the Wonder doesn't do anything. It just gives you like a couple seconds before they find you again. So what you need to do as soon as you get burned of the Wonder, start randoming right away and start changing your name and changing your guild right away, but never sit in the same spot for very long. And if you're in his situation where you can't take a solo at this point, pretty much what you need to do is just keep doing it until your fury is out. So we're talking about not even like stopping once you're under 5 minutes if you can't take a solo. If you can take a solo, it's totally fine. You can stop. They set the rally, it's fine. If they solo you, you cap them. That's totally fine. But if you can't take the solo at that point, just keep ranting them. Anyways, so shout out to Damo. Awesome. Thank you for sending me clips. Thank you for sending me your wins and your fails. It's really good to learn from both, because if you're just saying wins all the time, you're like, oh, this is easy. But you want to see what happens when everything goes wrong. And you saw some of that today, which is a good learning experience, and I love seeing it. So shout out for Damos for sending this. So anyways, if you haven't checked out his YouTube channel, link will be in the comments down below. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.